Hello everyone, and welcome to my General Hospital official channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. The General Hospital recap for Tuesday, May 13th, shows that Jason Morgan sealed Sonny Corinthos' fate with a rejected bargain, while Emma Scorpio Drake was furious about Jocelyn Jack's sabotage. At GH, Portia Robinson surprised Trina Robinson by disclosing that she persuaded Curtis Ashford to retract his editorial against Drew Kane. Portia recommended that Drew should simply do his own thing and stay out of it. Curtis told Jordan Ashford at the Brown Dog Bar that Portia had abruptly changed her mind about Drew. Curtis was concerned about Drew's leverage over Portia. Jordan knew what it was like to be in over her head with a secret, so she begged Curtis to speak with her and hear her out. Laura Collins was upset when Sonny mentioned selling his peers to Jen Sidwell. Laura finally recognized that this could be Sonny's mob departure strategy, and she couldn't stop him if he thought it was best for his family. At Lulu Spencer's house, she explained to Carly Spencer all of the signs that pointed to Giovanni Gio Palmieri as Brook, Lynn Quartermain and Dante Falconeri's son. Lois Cerullo's protective scream in the hospital last night left Lulu particularly convinced. When Lois asserted that Dante had no idea who Gio was, Lulu assumed it was a mistake. If Lulu's theory was correct, she felt compelled to inform Dante that he had previously interacted with his own son. Carly was concerned about blowing up Joe's life, as well as so many others, and warned Lulu that she needed proof. Lulu had an idea where she could get the final piece of evidence she needed. Meanwhile, Lucy Coe prepared for a nurse's ball performance alongside Maxie Jones, Felicia Scorpio and Anna Devane. Jen Sidwell arrived and told Lucy about his ulterior motivation for sponsoring the nurses' ball. He wanted to generate some goodwill in Port Charles. Lucy was certain she saw Sidwell's softer side, which worried Maxie as she observed them nearby. Emma was furious at Professor Henry Hank Dalton's office when Jocelyn took the research assistant position, especially after she discovered how much she wanted it. Emma suspected Jasper Jacks was throwing money around to arrange this, but Jocelyn denied it. Jocelyn told Emma that she would report any illegal lab operations, but Emma wondered why she would believe her and stormed out, calling Jocelyn a bitch. Emma then met up with Anna and told her how Jocelyn discovered her thumb drive at the campfire. Emma was convinced that Jocelyn sabotaged her, therefore she wanted to speak with Professor Dalton immediately away. Anna stopped Emma since she couldn't make such an accusation without evidence. There would be other summer jobs, so Anna urged Emma to let this one go. Returning to Jocelyn, she closed Professor Dalton's office. Jocelyn then scanned the room with some WSB gear, and put on gloves before looking through Professor Dalton's findings. Vaughn comes dressed as a maintenance worker, startling Jocelyn before assisting her in digging. Jocelyn and Vaughn found nothing damning, but they knew the real information they were seeking for was in Professor Dalton's laboratory. Tracy Quartermain sent Jason with updates on Brook Lynn's adolescent pregnancy and adoption at Metro Court, but Jason refused to assist in the search for Tracy's great-grandson. Tracy offered to cease opposing Sonny in the vote, and instead back his decision to maintain the peers, but Jason remained uninterested. If Brook Lynn needed help, she could go to Jason herself. Tracy decided that Jason had sealed Sonny's destiny and vowed that she intended to drive him out of Port Charles for good. When Jason arrived at Sonny's house, he revealed that Tracy had attempted to make a deal with him that he had rejected. Sonny didn't know all the circumstances, but he didn't believe they should be making deals with Tracy. According to General Hospital spoilers, Sonny will face some hurdles in the near future, so keep an eye out for any bad news. General Hospital teasers lead to the following question. Will Lois Cerullo leave after the Giovanni Gio Palmieri reveal? Brook Lynn Quartermain may tell her mother to leave Port Charles once the truth is revealed, so ponder what the future holds. Lois had already taken a sabbatical in Bensonhurst owing to her quarrel with Brook Lynn, but they were able to resolve it once Lois returned. A fact, this is only because Brook Lynn does not know the whole tale. Brook Lynn was upset when she discovered Lois had revealed her pregnancy and adoption secret to Gloria Cerullo, but she eventually recognized that her mother needed a confidant. Brook Lynn, on the other hand, will undoubtedly be upset when she discovers that Lois and Gloria have been concealing Joe's true origin all along. Once the truth is revealed, Brook Lynn will never want to live with Lois. Brook Lynn may force Lois to leave the Quartermain property, which Tracy Quartermain will fully support because she will be equally upset. Brook Lynn would even go so far as to say that Lois no longer belongs in Port Charles. Perhaps Brook Lynn will require a significant gap between them, forcing Lois to return to Bensonhurst. Other characters like Sonny Corinthos, Dante Falconeri, and Gio himself will be furious with Lois as well. Lois may become a town outcast and fall into a pit of despair as a consequence. Will the imminent Gio discovery force Lois out of Port Charles, at least temporarily? It's easy to see Lois packing up and leaving, but Gio may also advocate for family togetherness once everyone has calmed down. It would be great if Gio could bring Lois and Brook Lynn back together in the end. Gio has a good heart and will eventually forgive Lois for her dishonesty. That might lead to Gio urging Brook Lynn to do the same, thus Lois' exit could be temporary and part of the greater tale. Whatever the case, General Hospital spoilers indicate that a major Gio surprise is about to be revealed, so Lois will have some explaining to do once Brook Lynn, Dante, and others in PC receive information. The tension in Port Charles had reached a boiling point, a slow-burning fuse that threatened to ignite an all-out war. Jason Morgan, the ever-loyal enforcer, stood at the center of the storm, his icy blue eyes reflecting the weight of the decision he had just made. Across from him, Sonny Corinthos, the man who had once been his closest ally, his brother in all but blood, stared back with a mixture of disbelief and simmering rage. The deal Jason had offered, one last chance to avoid bloodshed, had been rejected outright. And with that refusal, the dagger of betrayal had been plunged deep, sealing Sonny's fate in ways neither of them could yet fully comprehend. 4 years, their partnership had been the backbone of the Corinthos organization. Jason's strategic mind and lethal precision had balanced Sonny's fiery temperament and unpredictable nature. Together they had built an empire, weathered countless enemies, and survived betrayals that would have shattered lesser men. But the cracks had been forming for months, tiny fractures in their foundation that had gone unnoticed until it was too late. It started with the whispers, rumors of Sonny's instability, his increasing paranoia, his willingness to strike first and ask questions later. Jason had tried to ignore them at first, dismissing them as the usual undercurrent of distrust in their world. Tracy warns Jason at Metrocourt that he cannot tell anyone, including Sonny, about what she is going to tell him. She informs him that Brook Lynn had a newborn boy as a teenager, and had given him up for adoption. Tracy wants him to find the boy. She reveals that when everything went down, Brook Lynn went to her mother for aid, and Lois and Gloria arranged for the boy's closed adoption. Jason asks Brook Lynn if she wants her son discovered, and if so, he should be having this talk with her. Tracy acknowledges Brook Lynn isn't aware she's doing this, but she must know who her great-grandson is. Tracy is concerned that the youngster may be in trouble, and should have been reared as a Quartermain. Jason claims it's none of his business and he won't get involved. Tracy anticipated objections, so in exchange for his assistance, she will withdraw her support for the Measure C vote and push for Sonny to maintain his land. Tracy claims the boy matters this much to her. Jason feels for her, but he can't help her without Brook Lynn's approval. Tracy trusts him to keep this to himself and will track down the boy through other ways. She also informs Jason that he has sealed Sonny's destiny, and she will not stop until he is gone of Port Charles for good. The show's final moments. Tracy enters the rehearsal facility and runs into Jins, who is leaving. She assures him that she is entirely devoted to resolving their common problem. She walks in and Maxie informs her she's late and that they need to practice their dance. Tracy proclaims that she is singing rather than dancing, and they all begin to dance around her. Back at Sonny's, he tells her that Laura's friendship and support mean the world to him. She feels the same way about him. Laura goes out and Jason arrives. Sonny explains that he informed Laura about Sidwell's offer. He claims Laura did not like it but understood and accepted it. Jason tells Sonny how Tracy offered to withdraw her support for Measure C, but he declined because she wanted a favor in exchange. Sonny claims they don't need to make bargains with Tracy, and Laura convinces him that it's fair to prioritize his family's needs. Liz confronts Rick at the next General Hospital, recalling that he mentioned something about the breaks. Alexis asks Benelli to help her save Christina. Christina tells Dante that she doesn't sure if she can forgive her mother. Drew adds, "I know exactly who to call." Carly sobs to Jason, I need to get those kids out of that house. Willow is served papers and becomes panicked. General Hospital spoilers for Wednesday, May 14th state that Carly Spencer will initiate legal action to remove the children from Willow Corinthos. Elizabeth Baldwin will also question Rick Lansing about the brakes on his crashed vehicle. So this is what GH viewers may expect. For starters, it appears Liz will recall Rick saying something about the brakes prior to the accident. Rick will be grilled, putting him in a difficult situation as he tries to hide the truth. Of course, Rick is a part of Ava Jerome's blackmail operation. Therefore they must keep Christina Corinthos Davis' activities hidden. It's the only way Ava and Rick can continue to receive Cassadine payments. Alexis Davis will recruit Damian Spinelli for a mission that could save Christina's life. It appears like Alexis will want Spinelli to remove any evidence against Christina. Therefore Spinelli may be charged with erasing the surveillance tape and locating the sabotaged automobile as well. Christina was aiming for Ava that night, but she ended up driving Rick's car off the road. Christina was clearly unstable, therefore she should give Alexis a break when it comes to those papers to have her committed. Christina, on the other hand, is unaware that Alexis is aware of the entire situation, thus she will continue to harbor resentment. That's why Christina will tell Dante Falconeri that she's not sure she'll ever be able to forgive and trust Alexis again. Although Christina extended an olive branch to Alexis, she will undoubtedly continue to struggle to overcome her mother's actions. Drew Kane will then learn something significant, which may have implications for his efforts to unravel the drugging case. Drew is already aware that Portia Robinson played a role in his wild night, but based on what he discovers, may he also suspect Nina Reeves? However, Drew may face the same setback as Willow, as she is about to get some tragic news. After receiving reports from Jason Morgan, Carly will be determined to get the kids out of Willow and Drew's house as quickly as possible. Jason will reveal what he learnt from Sasha Gilmore Corbin regarding Willow's claim that Michael declined to see her in Germany. Will Jason contact Michael to confirm? Or will he simply believe it's true for the sake of created soap? Carly may believe that if Michael has such contempt for Willow, they should move quickly to seize custody. However, Jason may discover that Drew wrecked things and express concerns about the children living with a master manipulator instead. Regardless, Carly and Jason will hold a strategy session, which will result in Willow being served with legal documents. Willow's biggest nightmare will come true when she discovers Carly is scheming to remove Wiley and Amelia Corinthos from her home with Drew as soon as possible. Drew will apparently soothe Willow, telling her that he knows exactly who to call. Despite Drew's efforts to resolve the situation, Willow will remain apprehensive about the potential of losing Wiley and Amelia. Finally, General Hospital spoilers indicate that Laura Collins will have a meltdown, so it's likely that Ezra Boyle will press her buttons, causing a dramatic outburst. Carly's decision to file legal action against Willow, which resulted in the children being removed from Willow's care, represents a critical and emotionally charged turning point in their continuous battle. This decision has far-reaching consequences not only for those directly engaged, but also for the larger community that has witnessed their stormy relationship. The legal system, which was once viewed as a last resort in familial disputes, has now become a battleground where custody, parental rights, and the well-being of children are hotly contested. Carly's decision to seek legal intervention reveals a significant distrust in Willow's capacity to create a safe and stable environment for the children. Carly's efforts, whether prompted by genuine care for their well-being or personal grudges, have irreparably altered their relationship dynamics. Legal actions of this sort are rarely simple. They require significant documentation, testimony, and examinations by social services or child welfare agencies to determine the children's best interests. The court's decision to remove the children from Willow's custody suggests that there was enough evidence provided to support such a harsh measure, at least temporarily. Willow's sudden loss of custody is most certainly upsetting. The emotional toll of being separated from children, along with the public attention that frequently surrounds such situations, can be overpowering. Willow may feel attacked, betrayed, or unfairly criticized, particularly if she believes she has provided competent and caring care. General Hospital spoilers for the next 3 weeks, May 12th to May 30th, predict that Jen Sidwell will embark on a perilous power trip while the Dagger Danger countdown is underway. Molly Lansing Davis and Cody Bell will also have an embarrassing night, So let's chat about the next action in Port Charles. Maxie Jones may seek advice from Anna Devane during the week of May 12th to 16th, and she may weigh in on Maxie's involvement in the rivalry between Lulu Spencer and Brook Lynn Quartermain. Tracy will reassure Brook Lynn after attempting to put an end to Lulu's adoption piece. Tracy may believe Brook Lynn's secret is secure, but when Carly Spencer catches up with Lulu, she will realize otherwise. Carly will realize that Lulu is working even harder to uncover the full truth regarding Brook Lynn and Dante Falconeri's adopted child. When Lulu discloses that she believes Giovanni Palmieri is Dante and Brook Lynn's child, Carly will become extremely concerned. Carly will not think it is appropriate for Lulu to proceed with blowing everything up, but we all know there is no stopping Lulu at this time. While Lulu attempts to collect the final puzzle pieces, Jocelyn Jack's sabotage plan should work perfectly. Following the debacle with Emma Scorpio Drake's extra credit assignment, Professor Henry Hank Dalton will suddenly begin to ignore her. That will allow Jocelyn to swoop in and become the frontrunner for the research assistant position. Over with Lucky Spencer. He'll look into something disturbing. Lucky may be concerned that Christina Corinthos Davis' secret may be revealed. Speaking of Christina, she may have let something slip that raises concerns as well. Christina will have to correct her mistake and try her best to keep her secret hidden. Of course, Christina has no idea Alexis Davis is aware of her attempt to target Ava Jerome's automobile and accidentally cutting the brakes on Rick Lansing's car. Christina is to fault for the crash that nearly killed Rick and Elizabeth Baldwin, but Alexis will try to protect her daughter while also avoiding Ava's grasp. That may include attempting to work out a deal with Rick, who is expecting an offer, but Alexis' intentions are unlikely to succeed. Any effort Alexis makes to convert Rick against Ava may fail. Jason Morgan predicts that Sonny Corinthos' business decision will be a tragedy. Sonny will believe he should make an agreement with Sidwell for the Piers, but Jason will try to persuade him to reject the offer. Jason may also warn Carly about the danger that could arise if Sonny goes ahead with this plan. Drew will discover something startling, as Nina Reeves presses Carly to grant a request. Nina may be concerned that her role in the drugging plot will be revealed, so she asks Carly to promise that she will remain silent. Meanwhile, Willow will experience unprecedented levels of anguish. Could Jason investigate Michael Corinthos' rejection in Germany and discover who paid the employee to send her away? Jason might give evidence that Drew sabotaged the visit after being supportive of Willow's face. Could Willow have serious questions about Drew's character and capabilities? The week of May 19th to 23rd could provide Lulu with the evidence she needs on Gio and his biological parents. Lulu may confirm that Brook Lynn and Dante helped deliver Gio into the world shortly before the nurses' ball began. Something tells us Lulu may reveal the Gio truth to Dante, Brook Lynn, or both at this occasion. It might happen in a difficult moment backstage, but the festivities could still serve as the setting for this important reveal. Gio may remain in the dark for a bit longer, since it would make sense for GH writers to prolong this and enhance the drama. Molly and Cody will find themselves in some unpleasant situations after being mistaken for a loving couple, possibly on the red carpet. After the nurses' ball, Sidwell will undoubtedly make some big moves over the week of May 26th to 30th. Sidwell will want to position himself as Port Charles's most powerful person, but he may also be the most dangerous. Jordan Ashford's covert job will put her in some difficult situations and may get her in hot water with Sidwell. It will be fascinating to see if Isaiah Gannon comes to Jordan's aid once things get out of hand. Will Christina ultimately find that Alexis knows about the automobile sabotage and is being blackmailed by Ava? Alexis can't keep that news a secret forever, so Christina may discover the truth and fall off the rails. Sidwell sent Alexis that foreboding dagger, so the countdown is on for the impending peril. Could Christina use the dagger on Ava to demonstrate her need to be devoted after all? The tension in the air was apparent, like a thick, stifling weight pressing down on everyone in the room. The clock ticked cruelly, each second a dagger thrusting deeper into the delicate illusion of control they had relied on for so long. The stakes had never been higher. Power, loyalty, and survival were all on a line that might break at the least misstep. This was no ordinary fight. It was a lethal game in which the rules changed like sand beneath their feet, and the cost of failure was measured in blood. The characters in this high-stakes drama were not strangers to peril. Each had walked the razor's edge before, Dance with death in the shadows where the police would not go. But tonight was different. Tonight, the carefully crafted relationships, whispered promises and hidden threats all coalesced into a single explosive moment. The countdown had started and there was no stopping it. At the heart of it all was Corinthos, a name that evoked both awe and horror. A dynasty founded on cunning and cruelty. Its legacy was one of unrivaled power. Even the mightiest empires might fall, and the flaws in Corinthos' foundation were beginning to appear. Enemies old and new circled like vultures seeking weakness. Betrayal lurked in every shadow, and trust was a luxury that no one could afford. The strategy had appeared flawless. A daring, aggressive attempt to consolidate power and squash opposition before it could strike. However, in their universe, no plan survives initial touch with reality. One error, one loose end, and the entire enterprise devolved into mayhem. What was supposed to be a decisive victory now stood on the verge of calamity. The dagger, both literal and metaphorical, served as the symbol for this dangerous risk. It was a weapon of precision and intimate violence, representing the personal character of the vendettas at hand. There was no room for error and no second chances. Every step, every phrase had to be calculated and measured. But in the heat of the moment, when adrenaline overpowers reason, even the sharpest minds can falter. And they did falter. The first domino dropped quietly, a betrayal so subtle it was almost graceful. A valued ally with their loyalty bought and paid for, had been playing both sides from the start. The information they spilled was just enough to swing the balance, turning the tide against Corinthos at the worst conceivable time. The enemy, forewarned, attacked with terrible efficiency. Ambushes were carried out, safe houses were breached, and the once impenetrable network began to crumble. Panic set in. Orders were screamed, countermeasures were implemented, but the harm had been done. The risky power play, the audacious move intended to safeguard their future, had failed spectacularly. Lulu believes she knows how to prove Gio is Dante and Brook Lynn's son. And look who's attending the nurses' ball. Tuesday, May 13, 2025. Today on General Hospital, Curtis fears Drew has something on Portia. Tracy makes Jason an enticing offer, and Emma suspects Joss stole her work to land the job with Dalton. Lucy, Anna, Maxie and Felicia all meet in the ball rehearsal space. They're waiting for the main attraction to arrive, so Maxie offers to stand in for her. Lucy wants this to be a big show, so they start practicing their routine until Jens arrives. He decided to stop by to see if everything was operating smoothly, as he was paying for everything. Emma yells, "You stole my position!" at Dalton's office when she discovers Joss has been hired for research. Joss claims she did not steal anything and earned this fair and square. Emma cries that she should have informed her that she was applying for the position, and she stabs her in the back. Emma inquires as to if her father purchased her this position. Joss claims her father had nothing to do with this, and if Dalton does anything improper, she will inform the authorities. Emma refuses to believe her, calling her a spoiled and untrustworthy bitch. She storms out. Back in the rehearsal location, Lucy invites Jens to have a seat, and they'll show them what they're working on. Emma suddenly storms in looking for Gio. Anna says he has left and takes 5 minutes to speak with her granddaughter. They leave, and Lucy compliments Jens on his generosity in sponsoring the nurses' ball. Jens says that he has an ulterior motive. He claims that since the word spread about his generosity, the residents of this city have been considerably more welcoming to him. Lucy informs Jens that he is a fantastic person, and it is her goal to spread the word to the rest of the town. Felicia talks to Maxie, who is still concerned that Deception's involvement with Jens would come back to haunt them. Jens eventually has to go and hopes that their performance will be worth the wait. Lucy swears that it will be. Emma informs her grandmother in the hallway that Joss has gotten the post she sought. She believes Joss sabotaged her disc and stole her work. She needs to tell Dalton, but Anna refuses to make such an accusation without proof. Anna assures her that there will be other employment and that she must let this go. Joss utilizes WSB tech to scan Dalton's office before breaking into his desk. Someone tries to open the door she locked. She promptly returns items, but it turns out that it's only Vaughn dressed as maintenance. He tells her that she did an excellent job in obtaining the research position, and that it is now time to begin working. They begin searching the area and take photographs. They also break into Dalton's PC. They collect whatever they can, but recognize that the main proof is in Dalton's lab, not here. When Trina walks into Portia's office, she is on the phone, yelling at Drew. Trina was visiting Kai, but he needed to go to physical therapy. Portia inquires about Kai's well-being, and Trina responds that he is putting on a brave face, but the documentary filmmaker continues to follow them around. She has to bite her lip to avoid remarking about Drew. Portia claims it is not their responsibility to persuade people about Drew, and she recently spoke with her father about not writing an editorial about Drew. Trina questions why her mother did that. Portia alleges she was concerned Drew may sue her father. She wasn't in favor of Kai's surgery, but it worked well, so she believes they should back off Drew and find a medium ground that avoids conflict. Trina asks if she wants Dad to reconcile with Drew. Portia will settle for coexisting, and she believes Curtis will listen to her. Curtis tells Jordan at the Brown Dog Bar that he suspects Portia is telling him lies. Given their history, she believes he should talk about it with someone else. He believes her background can help him, so she inquires about what is going on. He claims Portia has become a Drew apologist almost overnight. Curtis tells Jordan how Portia talked him out of using Aurora to write an article about Drew, claiming he was biased. He's also observed some of their private chats and something feels odd, such as when Portia lies to him about Trina. He knows his wife despises Drew, which could imply he has an advantage against her. Jordan proposes that he speak with Portia and hear her out. Curtis says he'll try, and he hopes he's wrong about everything. Laura informs Sonny that he cannot sell to Sidwell because he is a bad man. Sonny explains that sometimes it's worth cutting a deal with the devil. He claims that this would release her from their political link, but Laura is willing to endure that weight. She does not want Sidwell to establish an operation here, and cannot believe he would sell out. Sonny says that this isn't about the money, which makes Laura realize he's plotting his escape strategy. Sonny isn't leaving Port Charles and will require a security detail, but he deserves a new beginning. Laura can't help but wonder what Sidwell's takeover implies for the city. Sonny understands that the WSB and PCPD will keep him in check. If he sells to Sidwell, the changeover will be calm, avoiding turf battles. Laura remains apprehensive about Sidwell's ambitions for Port Charles. Laura is concerned that Sidwell will disrupt the harmony with the other family and usher in a new period of crime. However, she recognizes that asking him to give up his life and family for Port Charles is unfair, and she encourages him to leave if he believes it is time. At Lulu's, Carly informs her that this is not her child. This child has another family, and finding this child would be a tremendous mistake. Lulu tears because she's having trouble keeping this hidden, and she's very sure Dante's kid, Gio, is in Port Charles. Carly wonders why she thinks it's Gio, although he wasn't adopted. Lulu explains that he is the appropriate age, and she believes Lois and Gloria arranged for their Chirulo cousin to adopt him. Carly deems that a stretch, but Lulu replies no if Carly sees what she did last night. Lulu tells her about Dante berating Gio, accusing him of covering for Rocco and Danny, and Lois intervening. Lois replied, "You don't know what you are saying and you don't know who he is." Carly admits it's strange. Lulu explains that Dante mentioned how Gloria and Lois never let Gio stand on his own 2 feet, and she fears Brook Lynn may even realize Gio is her son. Her argument makes logic, and if Gio is Dante's son, she must inform him. Lulu, according to Carly, isn't thinking about how this will completely change Joe's life. He'll discover that everyone he's loved has lied to him, including his mother. She informs Lulu that this isn't her secret to share. Lulu believes that this boy is Sonny's grandson and Tracy's great-grandson. She recognizes that Sonny's presence in Joe's life over the years confirms her point, which is why Lois involved him so much in his education. Carly believes this is a problem, and she should have proof that Gio is Dante's son before telling him. Otherwise, this will explode up in her face. Lulu believes she has all of the information she needs and confirms what Ned told her. Brook Lynn was on tour with her mother and Miguel when her baby was most likely born. She also has an idea about where to go for hard evidence.